Vibe, Cross Community Podcast Radio.
Buonasera Zee, buonasera Alexis, buonasera Israel.
And welcome to Radio Vibe.
So it's Federica.
And it's Rosa here.
Today with three wonderful people. We have Zee on board, we have Alexis, and we have Israel. So first of all, guys, we would start from Zee asking for her favorite Italian word, as usual.
I think I'm going to have to go with two. It's going to be volare and is it amore?
Oh, wow. That's very romantic, Zee. It's a very romantic beginning, isn't it?
I like that.
That's great. So, Alexis, would you have a favorite Italian word?
Zena just beat me to that because I had intended to say amore. I know it's something like love.
Z told you that. But it's a very beautiful word, so definitely let's go for it.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And Israel, is your favorite word amore or do you have a different one?
No, mine is ciao bella.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
Excellent. So,
okay, so we now have our favorite word, and now we would like you to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
So I don't know, Zee, would you like to start? And it's a bit of a storytelling.
Sorry, is it myself? Yeah. So my name is Zee, and I am originally from a multicultural island. I have family all over the world. I actually have an uncle in Italy, and I find that I actually haven't been to Italy, and it is probably one of the things on my bucket list as well, you know, the gondola. If my favorite word is volare and amore, it's going to have to be something I get to take off my bucket list one day.
Fantastic.
Excellent. And where does your uncle live exactly in Italy? I'm very curious.
Bari. He's in Bari.
Okay.
So it's all the olive trees, and that's what he's been there for years now, probably about 30 years he's been. So it's a shame I haven't been.
Exactly. I mean, it's the time. I mean, for a nice holiday.
Definitely. It's a nice spot of Italy, so you definitely have to put it in your bucket list and go there as soon as we can travel again.
Absolutely.
Excellent. That's excellent. Zee, thank you very much. And Alexis, would you like to share your story maybe?
I would just say my name is Alexis, and I am originally from Nigeria. I have been in Northern Ireland for 7 whole years, 9, and I am a mother of so many nations. That's what I would say. And apart from that, I have worked with a few Italian guys, where I was working, and I feel they are lovely people, and Italy is one place I will also want to be one day. But for now, I am still here in Northern Ireland.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
And well, Israel, tell us about you.
Yes, my name is Israel, and Israel Eguaogie. I'm a Nigerian by birth. By nationality, I'm German. I migrated from Germany down here 2008 with my wife on a mission with a vision.
Wow.
So, and then we got stuck, and then Northern Ireland has been home ever since. It's a lovely place to be. And talking about bucket list, I think I have a container list. It's not just a bucket list, I have a container list. So, and one of those container lists include driving a Porsche Jeep. Wow.
Right.
Fair enough.
Very ambitious, but good. Yeah. Lovely. So guys, one question, because we all come from different countries and cultures in a way. So as Rosa, said before, what really was easy for you to understand and to adapt to in Northern Ireland, and what was a little bit harder in a way? Zee, would you like to start?
Depends how long we have, because we're probably going to write a movie on this. I suppose for me, because I've been in England, in Ireland, I've been quite a few countries. Coming to Northern Ireland was a bit of a culture shock, because the thing that whenever we arrived here, we knew nothing about it. We couldn't understand why houses were so dead cheap. Whenever we looked up, we were in England, went back home, and we were looking up houses to rent, where we go next, where was going to be the next adventure. It was an adventure, all right. So we came up, and first thing that happened is the taxi driver wouldn't even take us to where we wanted to go. So that was a bit of a shock. Couldn't understand why, but we learned fast and quick why it was like that. There was a lot of tension back then. I think we hadn't realized that it was shortly after the Good Friday wasn't even that far gone whenever we came. So I suppose for me, one of the hardest part was actually just the culture shock. Felt very isolated at the start and didn't even know, it wasn't even a language barrier because we spoke English. It was just feeling that we didn't belong for quite some time. Whereas now I know that, as Israel said, it is home for me as well. No matter where I go now, I just want to come back home. I remember recently, and one of my friends said, "Where is that? Is that home?" I was like, "Yeah, it is home." It's like, "Oh, I want to go there." I was like, "No, that's Northern Ireland. It's home." That's what
Yeah.
It's the same for us. We understand this so well.
Totally. What about you, Israel? How was for you?
Oh, thank you. At least for a change. After Zenat, it's me. Yes. I don't feel like a minority.
So you might as well.
Thank you very much, Rosa. You're taking to my side. All right. I think, to me personally, people played a very distinctive role in both making things easier for us here and difficult. So the factor that made it easier for us were the people. We met a lot of good people who are local. I live in North Belfast, so that tells you where I live. You know, we met very good people. First of all, the first house we lived, our neighbor was an amazing woman. You know, may her soul rest in peace. But she was a very, very amazing human being. You know, someone who would regularly say hello. When my daughter was born, she would be like, "Oh, can I carry her? Oh, bring her over. You guys can go and have fun." You know, stuff like that. So that's just an element. And during our course of study and work here, we met fantastic people. On the flip side, people made it worse. We met bad people. We met the good, the bad, and the ugly in general. So I always say that people plays a very, very distinctive role in that. How you settle or how you try to integrate into the system is about people, their perception of who you are, and the bias and prejudices that they carry. First of all, when I walk on the road, I don't know about any other Black person, but my color is my flag. So nobody needs to ask me where I'm from. So the bias is there, the prejudice is there, and these things are not just carried on or exhibited or by any other means. Rather, people carry those biases and prejudices, and they make sure they implement it just to make your life miserable. And I have experienced that. So I would say people. So both easy and difficult, people played very, very distinctive roles.
Thank you, Israel.
And now
Alexis. How was for you, Alexis?
I said I will share in what Israel said, because it's people that will actually make or mar, the feeling that you have concerning a place. When we first got here, we felt, yes, there are so many good people that you meet along the way as neighbors, even as landlords. I have met very good ones. We've actually also met people that will just look at you just because of your color, and they just, tell you off or tell you to go back to Africa. I remember going to work one evening, and a man asked me, he just said, "How you live? Where are you from?" And when I mentioned my country, he said, "How are you, Dave?" And then I turned to him and said, and he went on and on about so many of my country people that he has met that they said. I said, "How come you're meeting only the wrong and the bad ones?" I say, you have to check yourself, because there's something, something that is bad about you. Because if not, you would have, had the opportunity to meet some good people. I told him that wherever you meet good, you also meet bad. And that is what that good and bad always coexist. And so that's what I would take here. Because yes, I have met very wonderful people that will go to extremes for you. I have also met people that will make you feel, am I actually doing the right thing? But in all, because it's the same thing where I come from, so it doesn't deter me one bit. I know that yes, wherever you find good, you also find bad. So I take both of them on, and that's me.
Thank you. Thank you for telling us this. And I think, as you said, people are the one that makes the good and the bad. So they can make you feel great, but they can also make you feel very, very vulnerable and fragile in many respects. So, and with this, we're now going to take a music break, and we'll be back in a few moments.
Yep, so the music is by our Viber, Luigi Cirillo, as usual. So see you very soon with more Zee, more Alexis, and more Israel for you.
Penso che un sogno così non ritorni mai più. Mi dipingevo le mani e la faccia di blu. Poi d'improvviso venivo dal vento rapito e cominciavo a volare nel cielo infinito.
Okay, so we're back here with more Zee, more Alexis, and more Israel for you as promised. So,
and as usual, I set the scene. So we doing this interview by the comfort of our own house due to the COVID situation. So that's where we are recording from.
Yes, so we are on Zoom at the moment, and we can see all our great participants in front of us on the screen. So, guys, really, we want to know now about your great organization, which is called Iassist NI. So can you give us, please, an overview of, your mission, really, what you do, who can ask for help, any useful information, any useful background for people listening to Radio Vibe. Israel, would you like to start?
Yes, thank you very much. For once, I am starting this, so I am the leader. All right, thank you very much. Iassist NI, it was an idea 2015. That idea came up because I was ill for some time, and I was in receipt of NHS support, and I felt very isolated, kind of like, the moment you become ill here, you are not from here. There is no family network. There is no friend network, and all that. You are isolated. So during that period, I didn't know where to seek help. And while I was attending hospital appointments, I met a couple of people who are not from here, a Polish guy, and then 2 other people from Africa. They expressed the same concerns, so how I took their numbers, so we became friends. I check them up and they check me up. We talk to each other whenever we feel isolated. So 2015, we decided, why don't we set up something that could be like a befriending service, where we can check up on people via telephone or face-to-face visitation. So that was where the idea cropped up from, and then we started working on it towards making it better. And then along the line, we met very kind people and very skilled people. Alexis joined, and then Zenat joined. So we are a collection of very, very skilled, experienced, talking from personal experience and academically as well. People coming together trying to make this very, very, what can I use now? The German said, machlich. So I would say we want to make it better. We want to make sure that we use this instrument called Iassist to reduce isolation among people who are from the BAME group. That's not our main focus. However, we are reaching more out to them who feel isolated just because they are not from here, they don't speak the language, they don't understand or know their ways around. So we provide face-to-face befriending. We provide telephone befriending service. And then our website is under construction at the moment. That's why you couldn't access it. And then you could either email us on iassist@iassistni.com.
Okay.
We have the links of myself, like Israel at iassistni.com. And Zenat has cmanjo@iassistni.com and Alexis at iassistni.com. However, Zenat, her background is on social work, and she is the service manager at the moment. She's working her way upwards, so I'm not going to speak for her because she is my boss, or else I will get like, she's definitely going to query me tomorrow morning and say, why are you speaking for me? So I will allow you to ask her and then ask Alexis as well about Iassist, their experience so far, because I would like to hear as well. So if you see I have my badge on today, we went out doing the food delivery, the parcel delivery and stuff, and reaching out to people in the community, spending time with some of them just to know how they are during COVID-19. And Alexis, she's been fantastic. However, Zenat is still going to query me for that because we were meant to do that last week. So I'm sorry, Zenat, we did it very late. So I have to stop here now. So you can ask Zenat to feed you in the rest. She is the service manager, so she will tell you the services that we provide.
Perfect. Thank you. Zee, come on, tell us a little bit more then.
Thank you for that. Yeah, lots of questions. I'm making notes here about all the things I'm going to have to query with him tomorrow. One of the things that made me got on board with Iassist was the vision that we had. It's the fact that coming here, I had no sense of belonging, and being engaged with the community and seeing the vision that Iassist had made me want to be involved with that, with the organization. And some of the things that we have done, I love the fact how we got off on the ground. There was no thinking about it twice during the pandemic. We had to be there. We were going to do that. There was no second guessing this decision that there were people who are going to be isolated, during the pandemic, all of these inequalities, it's not that now we see them more. They were already there. The pandemic only made them more apparent. We saw them a lot more than what we did before. So for me, the fact that Iassist was on the ground right from the start made a massive difference, made me realize how sometimes all it takes is asking somebody, how are you? That's something that we were talking about yesterday as well during the suicide prevention week, about how a simple question, asking somebody how they are. And I feel that this is what Iassist has done for its service users, and the workshops that we have done, the stories that we have heard, and the stigma that's attached to a lot of these, for example, the mental health within the community. It's things like that that makes me passionate about what Iassist does.
Fantastic.
Indeed, I mean, you all sound very passionate. And, you know, I would like to ask Alexis if it's been a rewarding, I mean, I'm sure it's been challenging, but has it been a rewarding experience so far, Alexis, to be part of Iassist NI?
Okay, to a very large extent, I would say it has been rewarding. You would say rewarding in what sense? You know, the sense of like reaching out to somebody and just seeing how grateful the person is about it. It gives you joy. You understand? There are so many people, like some of the food that we delivered, some of them were like culturally appropriate food. Yes, some organizations were doing some of these things, but they weren't paying attention to details about the cultures of some of these people. But that was what I assisted. So we went out there, reached out to people about what they like. Some will actually call us and tell us the kind of things they want, and then we'll take that on board. So it was a person-to-person thing. So we did that, and you can see the joy in their hearts and in their voices and in their, you know, they show it. And those joy give us joy. Today, actually, there was someone we reached out to, and he started crying. And, you know, it was too much. But then he was happy that we were there. And that is what gives you joy. You go back to bed. When you go home and you want to settle in bed, yes, you can look back and say, yes, I was able to do something today. So that's that basically. And I love what I do there. Before then, I had worked for a company that, I was, doing support work, until like a senior support worker. But then now, just this person-to-person thing is awesome, and I love it. Yeah, and it's been rewarding.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Guys, I think you've taught us a great lesson today, which is that sometimes very simple gestures, as in keeping somebody company, asking somebody, how are you? Are things that are so simple yet so profound, and they do make like an immense difference to the life of people. So since this is a community radio, I think Rosa's got questions.
I always before we finish the interview, I always want to ask people, as a community radio podcast and we have, what would you like to see coming next in our Radio Vibe podcast?
I done a bit of a talk yesterday with the youth, and I find that it was amazing to see that a lot of their experiences are very similar. The experiences of lack of belonging at the start, because it was more or less the same questions being asked as we were asked here. But what really amazed me was their resilience. The fact that they didn't let this cloud how they view things, the hopes for the future. And I think engaging more with the youth is something that I would like to see. And seeing their point of view, it was just amazing to see how no matter what they went through, they were so resilient. And the fact that I know whenever, as Alexis said, whenever I went to bed yesterday, I just realized that, you know what, there is hope for the future, that Northern Ireland will be better. It will be a better place for the youth of nowadays. And I think that's something that we need to see more of. We need to see hope for the future.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Alexis, I think you are going to say something about your expectations about Radio Vibe in the future.
I say nothing much, really, but I think you are on the right track by just, taking in more people, maybe more organizations for people to air their views, yes, so that, yes, like we said, Northern Ireland is touring, as in tour. It's touring. So with that, I know there are going to be changes, and I think they are taking it on board. That it's no longer the Catholic and Protestant thing. So many people from different backgrounds are coming in, and so I would also like to hear that, showcase in Radio Vibes, so that they know, yes, we are here and we're here to stay.
Fantastic, wonderful. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Oh, Zee.
Zee.
Actually, I was going to say, even hearing about experiences from people and the youth, it's also about not it being just a hearing process, bringing in people, holding people accountable for the position that they are in, where they can actually bring the changes that people are hoping to see. So just bringing in people to listen to their experience, that can be draining too. But also bringing in people who can actually action those changes would be good.
Fantastic. Brilliant. We definitely take that on board, and we definitely will engage with the youth as well, which is a very important part of our society and the future, really. So definitely.
And Israel, it's your go now, and you're last only because you're a gentleman. We know. So
I'm always gentle. No, I mean, what you guys are doing, as we were talking, I was just going through the internet trying to find out a little bit about you guys, what you do. I think it's good. Last year, 2 years ago, we started something called MCN TV, which is called the Minority Community Network TV. And Alexis was the presenter, and we hope to continue on that. I would like to see a lot of synergy.
Okay.
You know, I want to see youth working with other organizations to promote that change. And one thing I would like to highlight is change, yes, it's constant, but the change starts with you.
Yeah, brilliant.
When you complain from now till next year, January, about a particular problem, if you don't do anything about it, it will never change. So if you see it broken, fix it. And if you can fix it alone, form a synergy and fix it.
That's fantastic.
That's excellent, fantastic. And it's something we'll keep in mind. So, Guy, we would like to thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very, very much.
Has been inspiring, has been very welcoming and very warm. So thank you. Thank you for taking the time to give us this lovely interview.
And of course, as usual, a big virtual hug to all our friends in Iassist NI and the whole BAME community. Thank you very much.
And we'll give you a virtual hug and say ciao.
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 Ciao.